What it do, y'all? If this is something that you're trying to get into, or it's something that you've been trying for a minute, but for some reason you just can't succeed yet, you gotta know the truth about this shit. Right? You gotta know what's actually going on here in order for it to actually work for you. If not, you're gonna be going back and forth for the rest of your fucking life. You're gonna be relapsing for the rest of your fucking life. Ask yourself, do you wanna do that shit? No, you don't wanna fucking do that shit. Alright? I know you don't wanna do that shit because no one wants to do that shit. You don't wanna be in your own self-created hell. Right? I've been there. It's not fucking pretty. It's not something that you want. Right? So understand that NoFap is a reboot stage. It's 3 months, 90 days that you don't fucking touch yourself. You don't masturbate. You don't do nothing. Can you have sex? Of course you can. Sex is a normal thing, but I'm not talking about sex. All right, I'm gonna talk about that in a different video. Today, we're talking about the truth about NoFap. All right? The reason why most people don't succeed with this shit is because they're unaware of what's going on. All right? They go into this and they say, oh, well, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna succeed at this challenge. I'm gonna free myself. But then they get into it and they're like, oh, fuck, I can't do this. I keep having urges. I keep having cravings. I keep going back to watching porn. I keep going back to busting a nut. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's a cycle, right? It's your own created hell. But the thing is, when you start NoFap, the reason why NoFap can be the most effective thing in your life, if you have an issue to begin with, is because NoFap shows you what the underlying issue is. You see, the problem is not porn. The problem is not masturbation, right? And I'm not saying this is like, oh, go and watch porn, right? Because it's not the problem. What I'm saying is that that's not the main issue. That's not why you keep going back. But when you do NoFap, it shows you what your underlying issue is. It shows you why the fuck you keep going back to that shit. But you gotta be aware. You gotta be awake. Your eyes have to be open to this shit in order to actually see why it is that you keep fucking going back. Right? I learned this shit way back in the beginning when I was relapsing constantly. And it's because I was in this created hell. I keep getting more depressed. I keep getting more angry. I keep getting more lonely. Right? I kept getting deeper and deeper into this fucking shithole until I realized, hold up. Every time I'm going back, it's showing me why I'm going back. It's showing me what the issue is here. And when I started to address those issues, that's when it became easy. It became easy to go months without doing this shit. Right? Understand that once you can get past that underlying issue, you no longer have a problem. You no longer have this quote unquote addiction. Some people think they have that, but you no longer have that shit if you can treat the underlying issue, right? And after the 3 months, you're rebooted, you're good. Now comes the time where you rewire, right? You have the choice. You can rewire to having sex with an actual human being. Or you can rewire to where, okay, you're having sex when you can have sex, but you're gonna masturbate here and there. Or you can choose not to do any of that shit. You can choose to go on to semen retention, right? You can choose to even do semen retention, but still have sex with women. It's all up to you. It's your life. You choose how it is that you want to rewire yourself. But understand that after those 3 months, once you're rebooted, your body reacts normally again. Meaning that it'll get an erection to a normal woman. Right? If you had problems with getting erections before, you're gonna be back to normal. If you had problems getting that shit up while trying to have sex, you're gonna be back to normal. If you had issues with your dopamine because you had excessive amounts of dopamine while you were watching porn all the time, or while you were busting all these motherfucking nuts, that shit will be back to normal after those 3 months. Alright? But here's the issue. Alright? Most people, they do NoFap. They finally get to 3 months and they get addicted to this idea of like, oh, the longer I go, the better I'm gonna feel. The more healing is going to occur and all this bullshit, right? So they keep going. They're like, okay, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8. It's this vicious cycle that's gonna keep you stuck in it, right? And the thing about this is that 9 times out of 10, they're gonna fall. right? And they fall and then they go back and they're like, oh shit, I can't believe I relapsed after so many fucking days, so many months that I had been without doing this shit. Why did I go back? Do I still have the addiction? I guess I'm not healed. I gotta go back and do this shit all over again. You see what I'm saying? You see how this person's fucking themselves over mentally? Right? You don't have an issue. You don't have a problem. Maybe in the beginning you did, but once you fix the underlying issue, you no longer have an issue. Right? After those 3 months, after you've rebooted, you have to understand your human nature. Right? As humans, we want to have sex. We want to do so not just for the pleasure, but more so to procreate. It's a survival mechanism. It's how we survive. We pass our genes, we pass our sperm, we pass our bloodline to create another human being, right? This is something that's hardwired into us, meaning that every single month, you're going to experience urges, right? You're going to experience sexual urges to procreate. It's a survival mechanism. It's something that happens every single month, right? You can bypass this. You can definitely get past this and just keep doing NOFAP and not busting up or anything. Like I said, the body takes care of itself. But understand that you're still gonna have urges. And the thing is, most oftentimes, people still have these urges of porn. And the reason for that is because that's what gave them the most feedback in the past. The perfect example I have of this, right? Let's say you date 3 girls, right? In 3 years, you date 3 girls. Each of them, you date them for a year. Excuse me. And the first girl, you have sex with her maybe once a week, right? Second girl, you have sex with her maybe 2 times a week. The third girl, though, this bitch a freak. You having sex with this shit maybe 7, 8, 9 times a week for an entire year. Alright? It doesn't matter in what order you dated these chicks. If you ever spend a period where you're not having sex and you begin to have urges to have sex, you're going to automatically go back to the freak. You're gonna go back to the girl where you were having sex with all the time because that's what's hardwired. You understand what I mean? So the first 3 months is a reboot. After that, you have to wire yourself to the real shit, meaning that you have to go and have sex, or you either have to abstain, or if you really don't want to abstain, you can choose how many times you want to masturbate each month. But understand that you have to find your balance. You have to find what works for you, and it's always better to wire yourself to the real shit, right? So after the 3 months, there's no fucking reason to go back to porn, right? Could you go back to masturbation? That's on you. You have to see for yourself. But going back to porn, it's not even part of the plan. You do that shit, you're just fucking yourself over again. Alright, so understand that NoFap is a small portion in your life. It's a reboot stage. You don't have an issue. Even if you're doing this shit excessively, understand that once you take care of what's going on behind the scenes, you have no addiction. Right? You have no pull to be able to do, or you have no pull to want to do this shit all the time, right? And then once you can wire yourself back to the normal stuff, then you'll be good, right? And even, like I said, even if you don't go back to having sex, or even if you just chill for a little, you keep doing NoFap, understand that you're still gonna get urges, and that's natural, that's human nature. If you can see it for what it is, you can succeed with this, all right? You can use it to benefit you. You can use it to allow you to grow, to allow you to become the better version of you, the best version of yourself, right? Let's say, for instance, that the underlying issue that you had was anxiety, right? Anytime you feel anxiety, this discomfort, you will go back and you will watch pornography, or you would bust a nut, all right? When you stop doing this shit, you're going to feel that shit 100 times more, right? But the key is to deal with that shit head on, right? When you do NoFap, there's no escape. There's nothing for you to run away. There's no outlet for you to be able to escape this discomfort. you have to face that shit head on. And if you can be aware, if you can be open, if your eyes can be open to the shit, if you can see it for what it is and face it head on and get past that shit, that's where the real growth happens, right? The real growth doesn't happen when you stop watching porn and you stop busting a nut, right? Because you could say, oh, okay, I'm not gonna do this shit anymore. And the moment you stop, it could be like a few seconds. Well, congratulations, you're on fucking NOFAP. But the real effects of this shit come from when you do the hard work, when you find what it is that the underlying issues are and you face that shit head on and you grow as an individual, you grow as a man or a woman if this is something that you fucking do. I understand it's a small portion in your life. Use it to grow. Don't use it as a crutch. Don't let it become your religion. Don't let it be the way for you, right? Let it be something that propels you in the right direction. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this video helped you in one way, shape, or form. If you're trying to get into it, if you're already doing this shit, apply this shit, and I guarantee you, you're gonna see some change, all right? With this being said, if you like the content, you want to go even deeper, consider becoming a Patreon. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description box below. With that being said, remember, yo, the time